What I thought I'd do today is I've got three stacks of books here, and I'd like to tell you, just kind of give some recommendations on some commentaries and resources that you might could use for the book of Mark. And so, what I have is the three stacks are books that I would highly recommend, and then I have books that I think are helpful, but uh, if you have the resources, you can buy them. If not, I would probably say wait. And then there are some books that I have that I would not recommend as necessarily being helpful, and I'll just kind of explain why as we go through it. So we're going to go through some resources for the Book of Mark. All right, so I'm going to begin with the Cambridge Bible Commentary on the Book of Mark. It is by CFD Mule, and I found it to be somewhat helpful. If you have the ability to get it, get it. If not, whatever. Uh, this one is Meditations in Mark by August Van Ryn. I think that as a scholar, he's pretty good, but this book, again, it tells you in the title it's Meditations, so it's not designed to be very deep. And so I would not recommend that as far as helping you put the sermon together. This is the New Testament commentaries based on the American Standard Version by C.E.W. Doris. I found this to, again, kind of it's in our third stack, to not be very helpful. It's okay. Thorn Apple commentaries. The Gospel According to Mark, Joseph Addison Alexander. I did not find this to be very helpful. Now, this one's probably going to get me in trouble with some of you Southern Baptist people, but this is Herschel Hobbs' exposition of the four Gospels. And this falls into the category of helping a person read the Bible and understand what the text is saying, but it's basically a retelling of the text. Of what's there. And so, and then there's some things that he highlights from other scholars I'm going to mention that I think are more helpful in a few minutes. But Herschel Hobbs, the exposition of the four Gospels is somewhat helpful. Same line. This is the Gospel According to Mark, the Living Word commentary. This, I think, is too brief to be of much help in the putting together the sermon part. It's too it's just a retelling of what the text is already saying. Of all the books that I had, the least helpful was this one, The Gospel of Mark by Darrell D. Smith. This book was not helpful because it essentially is another translation of the text. Like NIV, ESV translation, this is his personal translation of the text. And so it's on one side you have the Greek, and on the other side you have his translation, and then at the very bottom just a little bit of commentary, but not enough to be helpful. This next series of commentaries, the Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture, this one is, of course, New Testament, Volume 2 on Mark, is somewhat helpful. Again, it's on kind of toward the middle for me as far as being helpful, but they're really expensive, each book. And at the end of the day, it's a quote from early church fathers like Origen and men like that, and kind of their take on Scripture. And typically it's just one passage and then what they said about it. And overall, I'd have not found this sermon series or this commentary series to be helpful in putting together a sermon. All right, so now we're kind of toward the middle mark. And so this is the 21st Century Biblical Commentary Series, The Gospel of Mark, James McGowan. I would say that is a somewhat helpful commentary. Okay. This is the Interpretation Series, a Bible commentary for teaching and preaching by Lamar Williamson. Of course, the book of Mark there. I found this to be somewhat helpful. If you can get these a discounted price, I think it's worth it. If you're buying the whole set at full price, I would not do that. This is a two-part series. The New Testament for spiritual reading, the Gospel according to Mark. I did not find that to be very helpful. The Tyndale series, New Testament commentaries. This is Cole on Mark. I found that to be helpful. I definitely would pick that up. I have found all of the Tyndale, like these paperback commentaries, are helpful. They're good. This is going back to 1950. This is Mark and Luke by W.N. Clark is writing the commentary on Mark, and George Bliss is writing on the commentary of Luke, and they're in the same commentary. This is a good one. I would pick this one up. Mark and Luke. It's an American commentary on the New Testament. So that's good. All right, now those are the ones that are like, oh, okay, those are good. If you can pick them up, great. These, the ones that I'm about to mention, are the ones that I would highly recommend as being helpful, and they're in order of the most valuable at the bottom, least valuable at the top. So I'm going to start with the Broadman Bible Commentary, Volume 8, on the Book of Mark. I found it to be somewhat helpful. I feel that the passages are fairly short, but I think the material that they give you is enough to help you be able to put together a pretty solid sermon. This is the Holman New Testament Commentary on Mark by Rodney L. Cooper, and I found this to be very helpful. This is a good commentary to pick up to help you work through and preach on the book of Mark. Along the same lines is the New American Commentary by James A. Brooks. I think that's an excellent commentary on Mark's. It's been very helpful. And then also is the Expositor's Bible Commentary on Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Volume 8. So this is this has been all of the ones I've mentioned, like the New American Commentary, the Holman, most of the time Broadman sometimes, but from here on, the ones that I'm going to mention, these are the ones that I went to pretty much every week that were helpful. So this one I found to be very helpful. Very good, very good. This is the Interpreter's Bible. This is the 1953 version. It can be somewhat dated. The commentary that it gives on the particular, like examples and things that they give, are a little dated, but the material that they give you is very helpful. I found it to be very good. This is the interpretation of St. Mark's Gospel by R.C.H. Lenski. This is the Augsburg Publishing House. It looks like this. So this, I think, does a good job of giving you it's just good. I would highly recommend this. It gives enough about the original language. It gives some background and history. It's good. I would highly recommend it. This one is the New International Biblical Commentary on the Book of Mark by Hurtado. It is an excellent resource. Book of Mark, of course, I went to this one just about every week. It has very good material in it. Lane's William L. Lane commentary on the Book of Mark, the New International Commentary on the New Testament. Excellent. I would highly recommend getting this commentary. The last three deal specifically with the language. And so that's usually where I start when I put together a sermon series, is I'll go through, or a sermon, and I'll go through and look at the text that I'm wanting to go through, just to see if there's any original language, translational issues that we need to look at that are important to understanding the text. And so the last two really, and then this is three that I would highly recommend. So this is the Expositor's Greek Testament. This, of course, is Volume 1. It has the Gospel of John and Mark, and it is really good. So it gives you the Greek text. Let's see if I can get that in focus. And then it gives you the issues of the text that it focuses on. So I highly recommend this series, Expositor's Greek New Testament. The last one is, if I were to recommend any book to put together a sermon, it would be this one. It is Robertson's Word Pictures in the New Testament. This is Matthew and Mark. It's volume 1. I go to this every time. It is an excellent resource to help understand the text. And then also he has A.T. Robertson also has a study version that I found that's of but basically they're saying the same thing. So, but this is the whole series. If you can get the series, or you can find the series in a discount store, bookstore somewhere, I would highly recommend picking it up. If you go buy it off of Amazon, I think it's going to be, I forget exactly how much it was the last time I looked, but it could be fairly expensive. So, and these are getting to be out of print. But I have found, this is the 1932 version. I have found, of course, more updated versions than this one, but this one's really good. So I hope that's helpful as you work through the book of Mark. God bless you in your studies, and may it be fruitful and encouraging to your churches and those that you teach. God bless you, and have a great day.